Hello everyone, it's Lizzie and welcome to my channel. So today's video is going to be another fragrance review of the Kayali Vanilla 28. I'm super excited about this. Before I get into this video, definitely make sure to subscribe to my channel if you haven't done so already, and definitely give this video a thumbs up. If there's any fragrance reviews that you'd like me to do, definitely let me know in the comment section down below. But today's focus is going to be on the Kayali Vanilla 28. So I've been seeing this fragrance here on YouTube quite a lot, and I was watching Living Ash, and she does a lot of like body care, hygiene. She also does a bit of fragrance as well, and she mentioned this fragrance, and so I kind of had to try it. I honestly wouldn't have gone for the biggest bottle because this one here is the 100ml or the 3.4 fluid ounces, and I definitely wouldn't have gone for this size because I've never smelt it before in store, but this was the only size that they had, so I kind of had no choice but to buy the bigger bottle. I did pick this up from Cult Beauty because they were having 20% off. Oh, the lighting's gone weird, sorry about that. They were having a 20% off Huda Beauty, and so I figured this was the best time to pick it up. And I think I also had a gift card as well, which I used to purchase this, as well as another Huda Beauty fragrance, which you will see in my next video. But yeah, so like I said, this is the 100ml bottle. As you can see, it is humongous. If I can get it out, the packaging is beautiful. I just absolutely love it. It just looks very luxurious. I know with fragrances you need to keep them in like a cool, dry place, and for the most part in the dark, but this I feel like is something that you would just display on your bedside table, just because it looks really like upscale, and it's simple, but I love the packaging. I think it's absolutely gorgeous. Like I said, I have the 100ml bottle or the 3.4 fluid ounces, and this retails for $141.60. That is very specific. I'm on the Huda Beauty website, but I feel like that's a very specific number. A very specific cost, but anyway, let's say it's 141 US dollars, and here in the UK I believe it retails for 84 pounds for the largest bottle, which I think is about relatively standard for these types of fragrances and the size that you're getting. According to the Huda Beauty website, this is a beautifully balanced oriental fragrance with notes of musk, amber, patchouli and brown sugar, formed with the distinguished wood base of this utterly sublime scent. That description is gorgeous. The fragrance family is Oriental Gourmand. The scent type is rich, decadent and deep, and the key notes are vanilla accord, tonka absolute, amber woods, musk and brown sugar. So I wasn't really worried when I picked up this fragrance without having to smell it, just because like when I read vanilla and brown sugar, I was like, okay, I'm gonna like it because I like sweet. Like if you watch my channel, you know that I definitely gravitate towards the sweeter scent, so I figured I'm gonna like a vanilla fragrance. The main accords are sweet, amber, vanilla, floral, powdery, woody, musky and warm spice. So I'm just gonna quickly spray it. I mean, I know how it smells. I've been using it for about, I would say like a week. And it's the only fragrance that I've been using at the moment. So what I love about the initial spray of this is that it's like a beautiful, rich, deep brown sugar, like vanilla scent. It's so rich and deep. I feel like that's the best way to describe this type of fragrance. You can definitely smell the elements of amber, but for me, the brown sugar is the note that kind of stands out the most. And I think for the initial spray, it's really warm and it has this element of spice. I've noticed that I really love fragrances that have that element of spice to it. Even though they're sweet fragrances, that spiciness adds like a kick to it. I think the initial spray is actually my favorite. I feel like with a lot of other fragrances, I usually prefer it once it's dried down and like worked with your body chemistry, but I feel like this fragrance is at its best in the initial spray, in my personal opinion. When I initially picked up this fragrance, I assumed it would just smell like a standard vanilla fragrance, which it does, and I'll get to that in a moment, but it has that kind of like oud fragrance element to it. And if you know anything about like Middle Eastern fragrances, they smell amazing, by the way. Go check it out. Every time like I'm in Dubai or something, like that oud woodiness to it, like I feel like this has elements of that. It's not a woody fragrance, but I feel like the initial spray and that spice, it has like an oud type of element to it, which I really love. And obviously Huda's from the Middle East, so I can see like the influence from that. And I feel like because of that woodiness, it makes it slightly unique from a standard vanilla fragrance. Like, oh, honestly, when I sprayed this, it honestly kind of reminded me of Dubai, to be honest, because if you go into a lot of the fragrance stores out there, like their fragrances are very woody, very oriental, and I feel like this has elements of that, but it's also quite sweet as well. I will say though, with this fragrance, the dry down is a true vanilla scent. And that's one thing I kind of was disappointed about, was because I loved the initial spray and I kind of wanted it to stay like that, but it doesn't. It eventually does dry down and it just becomes a true vanilla classic scent. I don't smell the brown sugar anymore. I don't smell the amber anymore. I don't really smell the woody elements that I mentioned earlier. It honestly just smells like a true vanilla fragrance, which is a bit disappointing because I feel like it has no substance to it. I don't know how to articulate it, but in my mind, I just feel like when it starts to smell like a true vanilla fragrance, it just smells very generic and kind of basic, and there's nothing to it. In terms of longevity, I would say this is very moderate. I was reading reviews online and people were saying the staying powder is terrible, and that's one thing I was so scared about, but I don't think it's that bad. I do notice that I would say it lasts maybe 3 to 4, maybe hitting 5. It's so weird because I won't smell it on myself, but then I'll smell like certain pulse points just to make sure it's still there, and I can smell like hints of it, but it's very, very faint and light. So I definitely say the longevity is on the moderate side. In terms of the sort of sillage and how long and how it projects, I feel like this is terrible when it comes to that. It's a very delicate scent in a sense that you can only really smell it get really close to me or get close to the person that's wearing it. It's not one of those fragrances that where you spray it all over you, it like projects and other people can smell it around you. It's one of those kind of intimate scents where you have to be really close to the skin to be able to pick up the scent, which is quite a shame because I feel like that's what makes people feel like it doesn't last long. It doesn't last the longest, but I think because you have to be really up and close and personal to the person that's wearing it in order to smell it, that's what makes people think that it doesn't last as long. But for me personally, I felt like the lasting power was decent. 3, 4, like I said, hitting 5 is not the longest, but it was much better than I expected because I was reading reviews and people did say that it was lasting like 2 hours on them, and I was like, girl, like if it lasts only 2 hours, you'd be spraying this religiously. But it's just a very delicate scent, the dry down, and it just doesn't project anywhere at all. Like I remember I wore it to work and usually I can smell my fragrance, but I literally had to be like, is this thing still working? And when I got really close to my skin, I could smell it, but I don't want to have to do that. So overall, would I recommend this fragrance? I think if you're looking for a vanilla type of fragrance that's sweet yet spicy and has the elements of amber and woody notes, I definitely recommend it. However, if you're looking for a fragrance that's going to stay like that, however, like I said, this fragrance does not stay spicy forever. Once it dries down, it honestly just smells like a true vanilla, like a classic vanilla scent. I don't know how else to describe it, honestly. If you don't mind that transition, then you would absolutely love it. However, if you love the initial spray and you think it's going to stay like that on your skin, it probably won't, in my opinion. I don't think it does. And I did read other reviews and people did say that eventually when it does dry down, it just smells like a classic vanilla and there's like nothing great about it. There's nothing different, there's nothing dynamic. I really, really wish it, like the initial spray, kind of the scent stays like that or is similar to that. I hope she comes out with like an intense version because I feel like for a lot of people this is a very light fragrance overall. It might be great with pairing and layering with other fragrances that you feel like need a bit more vanilla. This would be definitely great to do that. But if you're looking for a fragrance that lasts super long on the skin, that projects and has great sillage, and has great longevity, this is not it, unfortunately. Although I do love the fragrance, don't get me wrong, but I just feel like if you're looking for something long wearing, you're not going to find it in this Kayali Vanilla 28 fragrance. So would I repurchase it? I think I would, because I honestly really love the scent. Like, I think it smells divine. Like, oh, that initial spray is just, oh, I wish it stayed like that. I don't know why it just goes into a true vanilla scent. Well, to be fair, the fragrance is called vanilla, so it honestly does make sense. But overall, I would repurchase it because I do think it's such a pretty fragrance. I don't have anything in my collection that smells exactly like this, which is why I would want to repurchase it. I do want to explore layering it with other fragrances, but I'm still trying to figure out the whole layering thing, because sometimes I just be putting things together that don't make sense, but they smell great to me and I get compliments. So I don't know, which is why I haven't done a video on layering, because I feel like I just do whatever. But overall, I do really like this fragrance. I'd give it a 6 out of 10, just because that initial spray is what gets me. But it's a really pretty fragrance, really sweet, really feminine. And yeah, that's my thoughts on the Kayali Vanilla. Let me know what you think of this fragrance. I've seen kind of great reviews, and I've seen reviews where people absolutely just don't, they expected more, but I really like it. I do really like it. If I had the option, I probably wouldn't have gotten this huge bottle, because I feel like it's a lot of perfume, but for something that doesn't last like a great amount of time, I'm not going to necessarily gravitate toward this all the time. But I mean, beggars can't be choosers at this point, and this is the only one they had. But I'm going to end this video here. Let me know your thoughts on this fragrance, if you love it, if you hate it, if you're not too sure about it. Based on this review, would you go ahead and purchase Kayali Vanilla? Let me know in the comments. But thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye guys.